Real Madrid versus Fiorentina, a match that ended 2-2 a couple hours ago. In this video over here, we're going to break down a few important points from that match. So what I've done here is compiled the good, the bad, and the ugly from the match. Let's just get straight into it. Now, several good points I got from the match. Although it's preseason, there are some good points here that we can actually raise, and we hope that Real Madrid build on those good points. First point here, let's talk about Endrick. Endrick had a really positive performance, in my opinion. He was hungry, determined. He even scored. In fact, it was an all-round good performance, and he also contributed defensively. Endrick seems really hungry this year, and I love his drive, his determination throughout the match. He was getting stuck in. We want to see more of that from Endrick. So that was a great game, a very good game from Endrick during that match against Fiorentina. Point two, team goals. Now, what I loved about that match was that Real Madrid scored two pretty good team goals. It wasn't individual brilliance. It wasn't, a goal against run of play or from a corner. It was literally pass and move, passing, finding space, scoring. The way that Barcelona scored their goals, I loved how Real did that. Two great team goals that they can actually build from in the next season. So what does that tell me? It tells me that Mourinho is building a team with chemistry and a team where people pass and move. And that first 25 minutes of that game was pretty good. Real were moving, passing, controlling the game, everyone contributing. I loved what I saw from Real in that game. And in fact, I felt like the people in the team, they understood each other's role, where, other players' strengths, where he'll be, where he'll go. That was a great first 25 minutes from Real Madrid, and they need to build upon that in the next season. Point three, Arda Güler. Wow, what a game by Arda. He was in the heart of everything creative in that game. He combined well with Endrick, and that should be a very positive point going on to the next season. Endrick and Güler connection, that might be a separate attacking function that can serve Real Madrid very well next year. I love the connection he had with Endrick, the passing, trying to find Endrick, trying to feed Endrick some nice balls. It was great. And he also, in my opinion, excelled in some sort of free role that I feel like Mourinho gave him in that game. Do what you want, be creative, move into that space, move right, move centrally, move left, try and get the ball, look up, pass it quickly. I loved how Güler played. I mean, if that's a Güler we're going to see next year, he's going to have a great season next year. Sharp passing, and I feel like Güler was a massive creative force in that game, and he will be next year, because if Vinny's going, they're going to lose one creative outlet. So they need Güler to step up to be that creative focal point. Basically, be the Ozil of this current Madrid team. And I loved what I saw from Güler in that game. The last point here that I thought was very good is that the signing of SB gives Real Madrid a different attacking avenue. So what does that mean? Now, during the game when SB came on, Trent sent in the cross, although the cross was a bit high for SB, but the cross came in and SB headed it. And even though he got the header wrong, that kind of game sequence where Trent gets a ball to SB on his head is exactly what was missing last year for Real Madrid. And we want to see more of that from Real. Just get a cross into a tall player in the box. Bellingham's tall. SB's tall. We want to see more plays like that. And I feel like Trent pinging in those kind of balls, because Trent is a great passer, to SB as a target man, will open up a key attacking avenue for Real Madrid next year. We want to see more of that, because Real Madrid will come up against teams who have a very strong low block. And sometimes you simply can't pass a ball into the net. You can't pass it. Sometimes it takes a long shot from midfield. Sometimes it takes you just crossing the ball in to tall players to head it in, or, get a lucky foot in to get the ball across the goal. These kind of scrappy goals are needed against low blocks. And that pass to SP sequence was super. That was a great point there. Want to see more of that. Now, that's a good points that I pulled from the game. There were more good points, but I'm not going to be here all day doing a match analysis for a couple hours. Let's just get straight to the key points. So the bad points that I pulled from the game. Let's break it down. Valverde, this guy, very talented, hardworking. He's a goddamn engine. However, this guy cannot control games. He does not have the ability to make a game move faster or make a game slow or control the tempo. He's not that type of player. And Marino should not make that mistake and try and give Valverde that responsibility. It kind of failed during that game. You can see during the match, Madrid lost control of that Fiorentina match. And I'm trying to figure out here. I feel like Valverde shouldn't play in the center midfield. I feel like this guy is more suited to the right side of the pitch, maybe be a right back or a right winger. I think right wing works well for Valverde. He played right wing in the Champions League final in 2022 against Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. Sending across to Vinny, he had a great game there. I think he has the skill set and the pace and the energy to be on the right side of the pitch, whether that's a right winger, right back. Centre midfield with Valverde isn't working. He can't control games, and he doesn't have the creativity to make defense unlocking passes. He's not that type of player. He's more of a Steven Gerrard type player, box to box. He's not a Xavi type player or Iniesta type player. He doesn't control games, and we saw it yesterday in Fiorentina. And Madrid cannot make that mistake with Valverde. That is not the system for him. Dumfries. So a bad point about the game. I feel like Dumfries overall had a good solid game, if I'm honest with you. However, playing him at right wing in that system doesn't work, and I hope Marino isn't getting any ideas. Do not play Dumfries as a right winger in any system, whether it's 4-3-3, whether it's 4-2-3-1. This guy is not a right winger. He's a right wing back. Yes, he's also a right back, but he's not a right winger. I just didn't feel it worked to a great extent in the Fiorentina game. I just thought, why not put Endrick on the right wing? Why not? I don't feel like it was a game to put Dumfries in. But again, this is preseason experimentation, and hopefully Marino has seen that Dumfries is not a right winger. Don't waste him then in the upcoming season. It's just not going to work. He's either a right back or a right wing back. He give you those options, not as a right winger. The last bad point here, Camavinga. Oh my goodness, Camavinga. Okay, so Camavinga had a nice assist, looked up, got a pass in. However, in my honest clear opinion, Camavinga has clearly regressed as a player. I don't know what's happened over the past 2 or 3 years. This guy has made no improvements. I still don't know what his best position is. I think this guy should be a left back. I really do, based on his skill set, how he plays. He's not talented enough to be in central midfield. Honestly, he made several blunders in that game as usual, and he did misplay some passes. And this guy is pretty much bad in possession. When he's pressed and he looks up, you can tell he gets nervous when he gets the ball in the midfield. There's something not right with Camavinga's development, whether that's a coaching issue, whether he's not good enough. Maybe I just don't know. The Camavinga from when he played in France and now, I don't know what's happened to this guy. And like when I was watching the game, I noticed that Camavinga has no right foot. He's left-footed, right? This guy would, instead of passing with his right foot, he'd try and just turn to his left or do some sort of left-sided action. And I'm thinking, dude, use your right foot. He's too one dimensional. I mean, he's too predictable, Camavinga. Camavinga is too one dimensional. Sorry, Camavinga is too one dimensional, and he has a single style of play, and he's too predictable. And that makes opponents' lives easy. This guy doesn't use his right foot. It's always him trying to turn to the left every single time, or do something weird with his left foot. That takes more time. Instead of him passing with his right foot, do something with his left. That takes more time. And opposition player can come in and get the ball off him or tackle him. This guy's regressed. And I've noticed that, like, he's not Madrid quality to be starting, if I'm honest with you. I feel like his best position should be a left back, but I just don't know how they're going to make. I don't know how they're going to make him work at Real Madrid. I really don't. I just don't. There's something not right with Camavinga. So that's 3 bad points that I picked up from that game. Let's talk about the ugly points. And the first ugly point here is old habits. What does that mean? The intensity and concentration dropped later in the game from Real Madrid. And that seems to be a constant issue that we saw from last season. Madrid will get a goal or two, and the intensity that they play to get those 2 goals or 1 goal, where they dominate the team, they score a goal, etc., they just lax off. They take the gas, the foot off the pedal, and that allows teams in to score a goal or even win the game or draw a game. And we saw it with the Fiorentina game. The mistakes in midfield, in defense. It's like they get overly confident. It's a common thing. They play very, very well in the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, get a goal or 2, they're overly confident. The opposition team gets a goal or 2, they get let in because Madrid don't have the intensity anymore or the concentration. That's got to stop. Mourinho must fix that, whether that's a mental issue or a fatigue issue or overconfidence issue. That needs to be fixed going forward next year in La Liga. That needs to be fixed, particularly against smaller teams. Like, these guys only turn up for Barca, bro. Only turn up for the big games. Listen, La Liga is won by smashing by smashing through all the small teams. That's how La Liga is won, and Barca are master of doing so. They may lose a game against Real Madrid, but they know the small teams rack up the points, etc. Mourinho must fix that issue. The last key point, ugly point, is midfield. The midfield that Mourinho played against Fiorentina, don't play that again. I'm sorry, that's not going to work. A Camavinga and Valverde pivot is the worst midfield you can play right now. It is the worst midfield. Camavinga and Valverde cannot and do not control games. They're not skilled enough. It's not their skill set. They're not creative midfielders. They cannot control games. They can't make a game faster. They can't slow a game down. They can't ping passes creatively to unlock defenses. They're just not that is not their player profile. They're more box to box, particularly Valverde. So when you play those 2 in midfield, you're basically asking to draw the game or lose it. I'm just being real. Madrid have a serious midfield issue ever since Cruz and Modric retired. Camavinga and Valverde should not be starting together in midfield. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work out. And they don't provide enough creativity and quality services to the forward attackers. They don't. Valverde isn't known for defense splitting passes. So is Camavinga. Rodri is definitely needed. You either play Rodri with Camavinga or Rodri with Valverde. I still don't believe that Valverde should be in the centre of midfield. Camavinga. But that's for a different discussion. But some sort of conductor is needed in that Madrid midfield. Barca had plenty. Barca have De Jong. Barca have Gavi. Barca have Pedri. Barca have a few more midfielders coming through as well. Madrid have to fix that midfield. Now, it was ugly seeing Camavinga and Valverde play together. They can't control games. So these points here is what I picked up from the Fiorentina game. I'm sure there was a lot more I could have added here, but I don't want to bore you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. More content coming on the way. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.